Hello everybody, welcome. My name is Richard and October 2023 is finished. So as usual, a bit of an end of month recap, a roundup, some of the latest news in the EV community, what it's like for used electric vehicle sales, a bit about what's going on with us, and then we'll finish up with some statistics about our solar energy. We're now just in the beginning of November as we film this, and Storm Kieran is raging outside. And it's been a little reminder that in floodwater, a lot of our roads have been quite flooded around here, so you have to drive through some very deep puddles, some of them deeper than you really want to put a car through. But what we have seen as well on other videos on YouTube is how good electric cars are if you are stuck in that situation. The puddle is a bit deeper than you expected, that river across that ford is a bit deeper than you would normally like it to be. I've seen a really good video of an MG4 where it goes through a very deep ford. The car actually floats a little bit, but the front wheel's gained a bit of traction and you drive straight out. And that water was deep enough to actually kill lorries and vans and all sorts of stuff. So electric cars, very good in deep water. Moving on though, one of the main topics of news for October was the more announcement about Project Highland Model 3. So there are now a few examples in the UK arriving at dealers. Generally, deliveries seem to be starting in December, so there's obviously a shipment on its way, and Tesla are going to get a load of these out at the very end of the year, Q4, get their numbers up, and it's proving to be popular. So there'll be some knock-on effect for that. Everyone getting new Model 3s on the used car market, so I'll come on to a bit of that when I cover the used car market in general in a moment. One other thing we've managed to start seeing now as well is a drop in interest rates for finance. So typically in the used car markets, finance rates have been going up over the last couple of years really now because general interest rates have been rising, which makes car financing a bit more expensive. But it's starting to fall down again now, which is good. And so we're now under 10% APR for used car finance. I know Tesla were running a low finance. I mean, basically, if you're going to run a finance for a car under that, the manufacturer or the seller needs to really be subsidising it. But we've seen a drop in interest rates under 10% now for car finance, which is good. It all helps, and hopefully it comes down a bit more as well. Also very proud, I want to just mention we've been nominated once again for the Used Car Awards. So this is an independent body in the used car industry basically, and every year they have an award ceremony which usually comprises all the big groups, all the Ridgeway groups and all the big car groups around the UK. Last year we were in the nominations for Best Used Electric Vehicle Dealer and we won it. Our little company here, we won that. We made a little video about that last year. Well, we've been nominated for that category again this year, so wish us luck. It's good just to be nominated. It means you're right in the sort of top segment of quality of car sales, not just the cars, but how the business runs and how they operate. So it's good to get that recognition. But this year, we're also nominated in Best Use of Video. So we'll see what comes of that. So there are some other dealers in the mix that have got YouTube channels and they do some videos about cars. I would like to think we also do quite a lot of video about cars. We've got not necessarily the most number of subscribers, but we have a lot of watch time, and I think our content, from the feedback you give me at least, has been quite useful in helping people make decisions. So I think it's very relevant. So wish us luck in those two nominations. But big thanks to the support from everyone who watches our videos that you've given us, and a big thanks to all our customers, and of course a big thanks to everyone who works here. It's really nice that we all get the recognition because everyone genuinely puts tons of hard work in. So my thanks to all our staff here as well. Thank you, Gins. Right, I'm going to move on to some stats now about the used car market. I'm still seeing the headlines, and I've been tagged in posts on X the other day about the used car market bubbles burst. Those headlines have been around for ages. They're lazy headlines. Let me give you some actual data based off of Auto Trader Market Insight. Auto Trader being the biggest platform for used car advertising in the UK. So if we look at the last 4 weeks, so the month of October 23, the demand across the board for used electric vehicles is up 78%, significantly up compared to this time last year. So continued growth. When we look at a statistic called market health, it compares the number of supply versus the amount of demand. It gives you a sort of market health figure. And that's been increasing again recently, which is good. So there is still more supply than this time last year, but because demand's up such a lot, market health is now up 47% for EVs on the used market. If we just drill that down to Tesla only for a moment, because we do a lot of Teslas here, we do all EVs, but a lot of our stock is comprised of Teslas. And demand for Teslas is up 60% and market health is up 77%. So again, good strong growth there. If we also just expand a little bit for the last 13 weeks across the EV board, demand is up 77%, market health up 11% on last year's 13 weeks. So ignore those other headlines. Demand for electric vehicles is up and market health is good. Remember in some of our recent kind of weekly and behind the scenes videos, we almost ran out of stock a couple of weeks ago. We were really low, but we've been busy getting cars back in, so we're a bit more stocked again, which is great. Our last month for sales, October, was mediocre, but generally been quite busy, and we were just low on stock because of demand in the earlier part of the month. So ultimately, you're going to have the stock to sell it, and we'd sold out of most stuff at one point. So, however, cars back in now. Check them out on rsev.co.uk, and more cars coming in. A lot of cars get pre-reserved, don't even hit the website. So anyway, not been bad at all. I'm not complaining. Let's move along to what might happen now with the Project Highland Model 3 arriving. So what we are now seeing quite a lot of as people are giving indicative delivery dates or delivery dates for their new Model 3s which tends to be at the moment, people saying I'm getting delivery at the end of December, is we're being offered more cars and there will be more, mostly Model 3s coming onto the market because people are going from the current Model 3, which is very good, to the new Highland Model 3, which is very, very good. Gets good reviews. I'm yet to drive one, but working on that. And so I already can see now and predict, and it won't show in the data and statistics just yet, but more Model 3s in the market, and I think the prices are going to have a knock-on effect. If there's more around, the prices are going to fall, it becomes more competitive, becomes more of a buyer's market. So although Tesla Model 3 prices have steadied out in recent weeks, I think we're going to see a bit of a dip again. I don't think anything too tragic, certainly not at the lower end of the market. So you've got cars a couple of years old, up to 4 years old now, the Model 3. So those sort of under 30,000, they probably won't change too much in value. But if you've got the kind of 6 months, year-old Model 3, they're going to be quite significantly affected. They already were last year, over the course of this year, really, because of the drop in the new car prices. But then now, with a new model replacing it, they're going to see a bit of a drop in value. So if you're looking to sell your Model 3, you can contact us. We are still buying stock, but we're going to start getting quite limited. And with the value's been a little bit uncertain, I've got to be a bit careful as well. But we could certainly broker sell your car. So sometimes that works where we just sell your car for you. We'll take a commission once it's sold, but the money you get back at the end would usually be quite a lot more than any part exchange offer you've been offered, for example, from Tesla, if they'll even take your car. We did also see, by the way, with Tesla over the last week, an offer where if you've got a free supercharging, older Model S, for example, you can now transfer some free supercharging to a new car if you order a new one. So I know of a few people that are taking up Tesla on that offer, which means they get free supercharging on the car they're buying. I presume it's just for that car, but if you're going to run that for a little bit, it gives you some nice free supercharging to make the most of. They don't have to take your old car. In fact, they usually don't take your old car, but that old car will be stripped of its supercharging rights. So again, if you're looking on the used car market and you see a 2015, 2016 Tesla Model S, which would normally be free supercharging, you've got to be careful because it could be one of those where the supercharger has been stripped off of it and it no longer will be. I think ultimately Tesla wants to kind of restrict all those cars which carry on their legacy rights to free supercharging, quite understandably, I guess. Righto. Hope that makes sense. Let's move on to some of our solar production because October wasn't a brilliant month for weather, was it? Anyone in the UK, I'm sure, will testify to that. Now, like I said, Storm Kieran's happening outside at the moment. What was interesting yesterday afternoon is I had a push notification from the Tesla app to say that our Powerwalls here were charging themselves up in preparation for the storm in case there was a power outage. So automatically that happened, give me a notification on the app, and indeed over the course of the next few hours they were taking a bit of energy from the grid to charge themselves up. We were producing some solar yesterday. It was actually slightly sunny before the storm arrived. So between it they charged the batteries up in case we had a power outage. Very good, all automatic, well done Tesla, good stuff. But what did we generate in October then? Let's go back to that. So our generation actually was 1,348 kilowatt hours. Pretty good, you know, but it's obviously coming down now as the days get shorter and the weather's been rubbish. We're probably also due to do a solar panel wash soon as well, but let's let these storms pass. We use 2,122 kilowatt hours here in the business, so the offices and of course charging lots of electric cars every day. So moderate usage, but we ultimately had to bring some in from the grid. So we were self-powered 57%, which is the lowest number for ages. So in October, only 57% self-powered, but I say only, it's still pretty good, isn't it? And still saving a lot of money. If we look at the year so far as an average, and when we get to the end of December, we'll have a complete year of solar to give you probably its own video then as a sum up. But our year so far now for self-powered is 75%, but it's come up to £16,000 of electricity costs. And remember, electricity prices have been falling as well over recent weeks, so actually the savings become less because the cost of what we have to buy is cheaper than it was. So, but nonetheless, £16,000, and we haven't done a full year yet. We've got 2 more months to go. It's a great saving. So that's pretty good, and I'm still very pleased with our solar investment. It's just the way to go. It's brilliant stuff. So that's about it for October 2023 as a quick roundup. Bit of a strange month, had a few people off, I was off, there's an October half term, some staff had some time off, but getting back into the swing of things now, restocking, making some more videos, so make sure you're subscribed and you'll see us again very soon. Thank you for watching.